Hey, this is Sam from Sword Style Guitar. Today I'm going to be bringing to you a discussion. It's about opinions in music. Very, very often when you're playing for somebody, you'll ask them their opinion on something, or people will just offer their opinion if you allow it. Frankly, I discourage this. I discourage musicians from taking opinions or criticism from anybody who they don't see as somebody they can learn from. If you're not capable of learning something from this person giving you their opinion isn't worth your time. Frankly, if they're just somebody listening to your music, a fan, then maybe it's a little bit different. But if they're talking about your playing in particular, or your technique, or your style, it's completely irrelevant, because you are the person who guides your style. You are the person in control of your life. If somebody's going to give you feedback, it has to be somebody who knows what they're talking about. For instance, if I was to let's say I was going to go and listen to a speech on nuclear physics. Do you think that do you think that if I had the nerve to offer the presenter of the discussion my opinion about what he had to say, you think that he would care, even in the slightest, about what I had to say? Well, maybe. But he shouldn't, because my opinion isn't worth anything to that guy, because I don't know anything about nuclear physics. Much in the same way, somebody who puts together a show, spends hours and hours and hours of time practicing, and has the gonads to get out on stage and put themselves out there, you should just ignore criticism or opinions that aren't helping you. People. There's a word for what people like to do. It's called groupthink. They like to do something where they're in a group. They have a degree of permission to start voicing their opinions on a topic because everybody's doing it, and they start to talk about something that they really have no business talking about, or they'll dumb it down significantly, without getting too political about things. I guess you could say you'll just know it when you see it. I'll be performing, and say you have a girlfriend. Say you have a girlfriend who, she gives you her opinion every time, or you've fallen into a habit of asking her for her opinion of your music. You should never do that, unless she's a sick musician herself, or unless your friends or your family are sick musicians themselves. They're not going to guide you in the right direction. And you have to understand, the only people who matter are people who have experience. They have experience doing what you do. So unless they have that experience, their opinion is completely irrelevant. And somebody who does have that experience, they're going to offer you much more than just an opinion about your playing. For instance, there's a lot of guys who's playing, I'm not, whatever, I'm trying to do something different than them. But I would certainly never, if they asked me, what did you think of my show tonight? I'd be like, what do you mean? In what way? In what way are you talking about? What did did I enjoy the show? Or, what is that going to do? What is that really going to do for you? Are you looking for a reason to feel like you did a good job? Do you not think you did a good job? The point is that you don't want to be validated or devalidated by anybody. The only thing that you should be doing is progressing. And the only question you should be asking yourself is, what more could I have done in this situation? And if you didn't do everything in your power to make it the best, then you should just say, look, next time, look, I missed this, I missed that, and now next time I'm going to get those two things before I repeat the same mistakes. That's all that matters. Somebody's opinion on your playing, it's not going to do anything for you, you shouldn't put any value at all on what other people think of your playing. Realistically, you should be evaluating yourself and maybe have peers who play who can tell you, hey man, check this out. I see you're trying to do, those little half-step bends. Well, maybe you can make them a little bit smoother by doing this because they were kind of out of tune. That makes a whole heck of a lot more difference than, some random person being like some guy who just started playing. It's like, huh. He's had a couple of drinks. He's like, hey man, your tone was like, you had a lot of ice pick tone in there, You sounded like you were trying to be like Albert King. It sounded like, it was tearing my head off with the ice pickness. But meanwhile, he might have had his head on the stage right next to the speaker cone, which, if you're familiar, that's the brightest part of the speaker. And, the point is, look, don't be validated by other people or validated by other people unless you respect them and their peers. They're people who walk the same path as you. If they're not people who walk the same path as you, don't look to them for their opinion. If they give it to you, just be like, thanks for sharing. And then continue on with your day and be like, where can I improve? And what did I do good? What were the small victories of the day? And, be your own compass. Don't let other people, validate or devalidate you. And that's it, Constantly improve and don't look to other people for their opinions, because their opinions don't matter. Frankly, when people are like, they just start giving me their opinions, I'm like, especially after I've been working all day, frankly, a lot of times I don't want to hear it. I say, I don't know, I don't know how I would say it. I'll probably just brush it off and say, thanks for sharing. And then continue on another thread of discussion because it's just not worth my time. So, I hope I made that clear. With that said, keep practicing, keep improving, and be your own boss. Don't let other people have a weight on you. It's just not sustainable. You want to have this for the long run. You don't want this to be a short-lived thing. And relying on other people to give you their opinions on matters such as your playing when they themselves don't play is a losing battle. So with that, I'm out. I will see you guys soon. Take care.